episode of season 2. I'll go mute that down. Yeah. So season 2, episode 7, Brown Mountain. So let's see. That looks pretty good. Boom. Mic check. Groovy. Let's go ahead and kick our timer, and we're off. So let's see. We're mixing colors here, which I'll be grabbing off the board here in a moment. Let's see what he does. There we go. Cool.
But you can see what's happening in here because you didn't overmix the paint. You overmixed it, you had one solid color. You didn't have all these pretty little things there. Okay, now some shadow color. You take a little bit of white, some Prussian blue, maybe light brown. Mix all that together. There. Blue and light brown and white. Once again, I'll overmix your paint.
Now, right on. Perfect. All right, grab that shot. Still got a little bit of a cold, so forgive the occasional cough, please. I want a new screenshot just to make sure I get the colors right. There. That's okay. Excuse me. All right, so let's put some paint down here. See over here the values, I want to make sure that this value is higher than this value. There. Good. Those values are so close. God, how weird. Wow, that's so great. Those values are so close. I'm not used to that. Very mild. Interesting. Okay. Hold on. Come up here. Wow, interesting. Okay, well, it is what it is. So let's just make sure I'm working in the right color. Is again, I won't know unless I'm paying attention to the colors over here. First off, I want to come in here and clean up these edges a bit. That rock would be fun to scale. looks good. Okay, good and clean. And let's see. On the right color. I'm going to switch to the right brush. Get over to this here. Switch to this brush instead. Top that off. Excuse me. Yes, I'm a little sick, so forgive. But okay, so 100% opacity, 100% strength on a smudge brush with these edges allows me to create little pockets. That again, when you have 100% on strength on your smudge brush, it pushes pixels instead of smudging them. It just picks them up and puts them down someplace else. When you have this angle, this crook in here, it will drag the pixels generally like you expect, but you won't have 100% control, which is the effect that he is creating with the palette knife. When he's allowing the paint to break on the palette knife that he works with, he is doing the same thing. He is allowing him to guide the flow of where the pixels are going without directly controlling where they will appear. So that is the intent behind the technique that he is using on the mountains. So if you understand the intention of the technique, I can then build a brush that will help simulate that effect. And that looks pretty good. Not too much work that went into it. A little bit more work than what he did, of course, because we're simulating the tools, and those simulations take a few extra steps. There, break that. I want to change the angle here to make sure I'm staying with the contours of the mountain itself. And you can see all this pixelation, all these artifacts, as I call them, as they are called, indications of brush marks. But this is just the initial pass, so we are just putting some snow. Well, no, this is just highlights, not snow. It's just Rocky Mountains. It's just highlights. feels like the sun might be kissing these mountains. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Change the angle a bit. Go with the contours here. All right. Hopefully, I've been making sound this whole time. Good. I've been making sound this whole time. I could literally mess with this for hours. It's fun. You should too. Again, I'll have this brush set available. I've been threatening to make these brush sets available through Patreon, and I will do so. And boy, I would love nothing more than to actually get picked up by Bob Ross's team. I need to find out more about who oversees this stuff. But right. So Patreon, yes, I'll be having these brushes available. It's my Christmas goal. My New Year resolution is to have the Patreon channel up and running, or the Patreon account up and running for folks to grab these brush sets if they're interested, and PDF breakdowns of all the different types of landscapes that I do. And I'll have that feels pretty good. I'll rough that up a bit. Alright, push that up the line a little bit. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, so we'll come through with texturing here in a minute. Right now, we're going to lay down the other color. Those values are so close, it's really difficult for me to tell without any color. Without me seeing any color, it's really tricky for me to tell. Even next to each other, it's pretty subtle. I mean, when they're directly right next to each other like that, but like these, I'm having a really hard time telling where one color starts and the other ends. So this was a little challenging for me. How fun. I like these though. I like how that texture's breaking. I like how that's looking. I'm always fiddling with the tools and trying to improve the brushes, and I like this iteration quite a bit. I think these are doing good work for me. Oh god, that looks freaking fantastic. Okay, I can see the contrast in that. Once I get a good block of it down, it really starts to pop out for me. God, that looks fantastic. I'm really happy with that. Really, really happy with how that's looking. Oh yeah, that stands out real brilliantly for me. Nice. In Bob we trust. Yeah, I'm always fiddling with the tools. It could take, 10, 15 paintings for me to get a good groove on what I'm working with, for me to decide that it's a good brush, or whether I need to delete it or not. So, like I said, I was going to say in a Patreon channel, I'll offer these brush sets for folks. And I'm just doing Bob Ross stuff now. I'm thinking once a month. Like go to Reddit or something and find earth porn, and maybe create one of those, or if maybe if folks have some particularly nice looking terrains that they're wanting to have me go through this process with, I'm happy to do that as well. I'm playing with ideas. Well, I'll have it all figured out by the new year. So let's see. That is where we're at currently. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to save and take a sip before proceeding. I'm going to clean up these edges. Make sure he's not going or doing anywhere he's not supposed to. There we go. Clean up the colors. Keep them inside of the mountain. On or inside the mountain. I don't want to have little doobly-doos like this hanging out in the sky. Like, this mountains is raining down and creating. How funny would that be? The mountains that we have is where the stone stopped raining. It's like it didn't get pushed up from the ground. It got dropped down from above. That'd be a fun world to build. Actually, would be pretty fun. It's a neat idea. Develop that into a world. Stone rain. I'm just going to leave a little poke there, and okay, so I cleaned up the outside edges. Now I'm going to save again and grab another sip. Okay, and I'm going to come through with a 50% strength. I'm going to drop down the size of the smudge brush, so again, below 100%, it actually smudges. So it takes and it smudges the pixels across the area that you work the brush. So I wanted to use the high strength to create all the breaks, but I want to use the lower percentage smudge to get rid of the obvious, so like the Like some of it you want to keep. Like I want to keep that because that's really cool rock striation there. I think that's the word for it, striation. But I don't want it to. I want it to look like it's supposed to be there, not like it's an accident. You know what I'm saying? All these like all this tire tread marks that's going on down here. I don't want tire tread marks. I want it to blend out and so that it looks like natural terrain. Terrain, not tires. How about that? Hashtag terrain, not tires. There. Let's blend that in a bit. But I don't want to do it too intensely because again, a lot of these effects look really cool. But I do want to stick with the contour of the land. I do want to make sure that it's looking like it looks like a finished piece. I don't want to be sloppy with this. This is good works. So. So I'm wriggling side to side, quote unquote side to side. I'm working like this and I'm working like this because that's how this contour is laying. And then as I get further along the mountains, like this, and like this, like this, like this, that helps stabilize it a little bit. All right. Good. So again, yeah, this takes a little bit more time than what he spends on it because the tools that we use aren't as complicated as him holding the in this case a palette knife, him being able to manipulate it on the fly with all the different degrees and angles and instant responses that he has coming out of his own actual wrist is, again, it's far superior to the Photoshop randomization tools that I'm using. So I had to get creative in building these tools so that I could have something that duplicates the look with the limitation of the tools that I have. Perhaps there's a palette knife tool that exists in Photoshop that allows for that pressure sensitivity to allow for paint breaking. If it exists, certainly let me know, because I think my techniques would probably improve dramatically if I had that accessibility. But as it is, I am not aware of it, and so this is the solutions that I came up with in the meantime. So we're actually going to leave that striation like that, and then we're going to switch to, pull back just a bit. That looks pretty good. Go back here. I don't want to destroy all that. Be careful with it. A lot of that stuff looks really good. Again, I'm just trying to get rid of some of the tire treads that exist in there. But I mean, I want to keep all that pockmarky stuff because that pockmarky looks really good. It's the duplicate. It's the blatant tire treads like that I'm trying to break down. So it's not so obvious there. But again, at the same time, you want to keep some of it because it creates really great texture. So you got to be, there's a fine line. And honestly, there's no right answer. That is your own exploration for you to discover where that line is. Yeah, we're always learning. So I'm my 86th painting, I think, doing this stuff. So I'm starting to get a feel for where and how I'm supposed to do. Yeah, that was the wrong move. There you go. There, that looks pretty darn good. So we're gonna go with that. Oh, yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, where are we at? Here.
Go back to the word highlight color. Begin building all kinds of packages. Maybe highlight the shadow. Let's highlight flat so there's no shadow behind it. Because it's a bit. Maybe the snow still in.
There you go. Ah, cool. How fun.
I'm going to take a little bit of the blue and white.
Awesome. Okay, let's do that. Getting close to the half-hour mark. It's not unusual for a mountain to take a half hour or longer. If man, okay, I'm gonna have to push up the white a little bit more for me because I was having a little difficulty seeing it, the difference there. So that feels about right. So we're gonna come back in, get the right tools, get the right angle. Not necessarily. Let's get the right angle here. I don't want to overdo it. So, snow is smoother. So I'm going to come in here and soften all this up. New layer. That's two. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to switch to the cloud brush. I want to make sure that edges are good. But it shouldn't be as rough because snow isn't jagged. Snow's never jagged. Ice is, but that is not what we are trying to depict. So this will take a few minutes for me to process through. Again, we got the Holst in the background, Gustav Holst. His symphony masterpiece, The Seven Planets. this in the same. Just getting rid of those jagged edges. Good. We're just about done for the day. Not too surprising that we get a mountain done and then call it for the day. Mountains generally take around 30 minutes using these brushes and this technique. Considerably longer than the 2 minutes. Considerably longer. And then the 2 to 5 minutes that it may take him to produce the same effects. We absolutely accept and agree that his techniques by hand are far faster. But again, it's the whole reason I had to develop these techniques is because I don't see the color. So I wanted a way for me to figure out how to be able to do this, how to be able to produce what he wants, and more importantly, be able to produce my own. These are lessons. These are teaching us. He did all these shows specifically to teach us. So I'm doing a soft blend on these. So this cloud brush is really nice to do. There, take this hard edge here and trace into that. Too far. You've gone too far, sir. There. We're just about out of time for this episode. I'll make sure I get everything clean. That's fun. And carving these little pieces out. That's awesome. I love that. Here I'm gonna do some similar blending here just to make those things work together a little bit better. Good. I'm going to clean up this edge here. And then here. That looks good. There's little nooks where it's going to be extra cool in these depths. I'll make the just to help make that blend in just a little bit better. I mean, at the distance that we're going to be, this is hardly going to be noticeable, but I upload these at pretty high. I mean, this is 300 dpi, and it's 18 by 24 inch canvas, so that's thousands of pixels. You can certainly get this close and intimate. Maybe not quite this close. Which is why I think I'm going to provide the PDFs of this, things like this, to folks that want to participate in the Patreon. Give you this stuff to study if it's something that you're interested in. Okay, at this point I think I'm just mincing, so I should go ahead and call this, yeah, that looks really neat. That looks really neat. Let's see if there's anything I've missed here real quick. And while he's doing it, I'm going to take a sip. Yeah, see, he's smoothing it. He's blending it in. Ooh. Yellow, huh? All right. Oh, cat yellow, huh? Interesting. Alright, I'm going to pause it there because he's playing with yellow. So I'm going to study that a little bit. I'm going to come back and play with it a little bit more. But for now, this is where we are at. And that's where he's at with his. Cool. I'm happy with this. We've got a lot more contrast going on, but I think that's going to ultimately make it pop a lot more. So I'm really pleased with that. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save here. And we're going to call it for the day. I'm going to pick up tomorrow. We're going to play with this mountain a little bit more. And we're going to get down into the tree lines. And then we might be getting into the water and then the mid-ground from there. This is fleshing out to be a really fun painting. Alright, cool guys. Thanks for participating. I'm glad that you're around. And we'll catch us next time. Thanks a lot.